think we're going to go ahead and get started. So on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Independence, hello there. We want to welcome you to First Friday for the month of June. Is that right? Yes. I lose track. These months go so fast. One of the first things that we always do is we hear from our business sponsor. This is co-sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, and the City of Independence allows us to all come here once a month and enjoy the Memorial Hall and the Civic Center as a way for all of us to get together and learn about things that are happening in our community. But without our business sponsor, you would probably most likely just be sitting there with your drink from Sonic or a convenience store, or the bottle of water that you grabbed, or maybe a bottle of water that I purchased. But you definitely would not have those muffins and that fruit that is in front of you, or the amazing hot coffee. And that is because we have business sponsors every month that help make that happen. And this business sponsor for June is Westar Energy. So at this time, would you please welcome their Customer Solutions Manager, Carrie West.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody has had lots of food. If not, please get up and go get some more. I wanted to just introduce you to Westar Energy. Obviously, we're the electric company. We keep the lights on. But we do so much more than that. And we've had a lot of changes over the past year. For those of you that don't know, a year ago yesterday, we merged with our neighbors to the east, Kansas City Power and Light. And while that hasn't brought a lot of changes to the public, it has brought a lot of internal changes with our process, our software systems, and lots of things moving forward. And so just a few of the efficiencies we've had with the merger. We've actually lowered rates, and in October of last year we lowered rates. We committed to a 5-year base rate moratorium, which means we're not going back for a rate case until at least 2023, hopefully further than that. And the way we're able to do that is the efficiencies that we have gained with the merger by consolidating services as far as software systems. And we're working on our billing system and the systems that our trucks roll out and use to do the jobs that they do today. So with that, just a little idea, customer-wise, we're about 1.6 million customers across Kansas and Missouri. And in October, the biggest thing you're going to see is a name change. So we're getting ready to rebrand and go through a new name. Westar Energy, Kansas City Power and Light will both effectively go away October 1st. We are rolling out, starting in August, through newspaper ads, TV ads, and lots of marketing and news to our customers, the name Evergy. So you're going to see Evergy roll out on trucks, and yes, I said Evergy, so that's energy with a V, and Evergy actually will roll out across both of our territories. So we'll be one company serving 1.6 million customers with the values of people first. So with that, I would like to introduce our local construction maintenance supervisor, Lori Johnson. And I have to give a shout out to Lori because she does a great job for the Independent Service Center in the entire region. She keeps the wheels on the bus and the guys headed in the right direction. So with that, thank you. And I hope you all enjoy First Friday.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your support, and we're going to have to get used to that name, and you're going to have to get some new clothes, right? Yeah. All right. So as I said, First Friday is an opportunity for us to get together and talk about things that are happening in the community. We always like to keep you up to speed on everything that is happening. So pull out that calendar right there, and we're going to go through some things so that we can get you well informed about all that's happening. A couple of things I do want to mention. The Chamber of Commerce is working on a new website, and we hope to have that up and running around August. So be sure and start looking for that, and we're very, very excited about that opportunity to be able to give you one more resource to find information. Right now you can find information, but it's just not that easy to navigate, so we're going to get a new website. We're excited about that. Always check out our Facebook page. It's Get Independence. Always check out the city's Facebook page. They always have lots of really good information. They have good information on their website as well. We put out the What's Up in the newspaper. There's always the calendar of events. There's table tents around town. And we were just talking about the radio this morning. Both radio stations in Coffeyville and Independence are very generous to the chamber and allow us to get out a lot of really good information. So whatever your choice is, tune in to those local radio stations in the area and be well informed as well. And if there's anything that you want us to help you promote, get the word out, be sure and just give us a call, and I will visit with you about whatever that is and try to figure out the best way to share that information with the community. So I'm going to get started and hit the highlights. First of all, I want to back up and tell you that if you missed out on Miss Abel's summer blast-off last weekend, you missed out on an awesome day. It was the first time that our community has celebrated the fact that we have a piece of significant world history in our park, and that's the fact that Miss Abel's birthplace is Monkey Island, and this was the 60th year of the successful space launch of Miss Abel and Miss Baker. And it was the first time that our community embraced that, and we're excited about having that on the first Saturday of June every year as an annual event, and it will be called Miss Abel's Summer Blast-Off as a kickoff to summer, but as a focus of Miss Abel. So it started with events at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the last event ended at 9:30 that night. It was a day full of really fun activities for the family. Most everything was free. And two things I want to point out. One was we had the Kansas Cosmosphere here, thanks to the generous sponsorship of Textron Aviation that you're going to be hearing from in a little bit. And without their support, we wouldn't have been able to bring them into the community, bring educators into the community that shared information about space at the library to well over probably 50 people that were there. And you can check out that on our Facebook because we've got some good footage of that. And then also, we had national recognition from the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., thanks to the hard work of Mark Metcalf, Tim Emmert, and Chelsea Cheney and Senator Roberts' office. They kind of all worked together, pulled their strings, it's who you know, and they were able to get the Smithsonian to do a celebratory welcome and congratulatory message to Independence. It's on Facebook. It's really cool. And if you see it, be sure and share it, because I say this all the time. We have some amazing things in our community. We truly do. But we do a really good job of keeping it a secret. And so make sure that you use social media, because it's free to get that out. And it's easy to share that information, and it's always out there. So push it out, share it. Just push that button when you see that video, and make sure that everybody you're connected with on social media sees that. So it was a great day, and I want to thank Textron again for their sponsorship, and we're going to talk about them in just a little bit. So a few other things I want to tell you is we're going to hear about some exciting things happening Saturday with some visual promotion that's going to be happening on Penn Avenue, so I'm not going to steal that thunder. We do have Little House on the Prairie. It's tomorrow morning. I think the gates will open around 10, goes until the afternoon, and they will have pioneer games and foods and crafts and music and reenactments and tours of all the buildings. And then Jason Wilder is going to be there, and he is the grandnephew of Almanzo Wilder, who was Laura Ingalls' husband, and he's going to be doing some presentations too. So check out their Facebook page and get out to Fun on the Prairie, and that is tomorrow morning, along with the Farmers Market. And on Tuesday evenings, it will be Mid-Continent Band at 8 in the band shell. It's their 127th year, so be sure and enjoy amazing music out in the park every Tuesday. The Independence Children's Summer Theater, it will be starting the June 14th through the 16th. There are flyers on the table over here. You can see that on our website as well and Facebook page, but mark your calendars for those. There are 3 summer performances, and they are definitely worth making the trip out to the Inge Center to see those musical productions. On June 14th, there will be a Women for Women event, and you're going to hear about that in a shout-out. On June 15th is the Meadowlark Lounge. You're going to hear about that in a shout-out. And I've got a little visual aid. On the 18th, we are going to be having an Emergency Services Heroes Dinner. And this is to celebrate and honor our fire, police, and EMS and dispatch, who work very, very hard to keep us safe and take care of us in our community. And this is a dinner especially for them. They will be coming with their significant other and spouses. It will be an evening right here in the Civic Center where they enjoy a catered meal and they receive some well-deserved awards. And they just have a great time coming together as co-workers and enjoying an evening away from work. There's going to be still police on duty, so no speeding out there. But anyway, over here to my left is a table, and at the table there are envelopes, and you can write your name on them, stick some money in there, $5, $10, whatever you guys want to donate. There are some cards on the table, so if you're a business or you're someone who doesn't have any money with you and just want us to send an invoice, we're happy to do that too. You can just fill this out and we'll take care of that. And I say all that because we're not using city funding to do any of this. We're not using chamber funding to do any of this. The chamber is just working to help organize it for them. So this is a community event. This is an opportunity for all of us as citizens who receive their care and, all the things that they do for us. It's our opportunity to be able to give back to them by allowing them to have this amazing evening. So I just encourage you to do it and contribute if you feel called to do so. And I just want to point out that it's the timing is amazing because we started talking about doing this for them about 3 weeks before the water crisis and or the flood or whatever. And it was just like as soon as the rain started coming and they started working 24 hours with no sleep, days and days, and over the holiday and everything, it was then that I thought, wow, this event is very much deserved. So stop by the table on your way out, please. I'm going to back up and tell you that I need everybody to extend a little grace my way because next Thursday, I will be running the show by myself at the chamber office for about 3 weeks. Garrett resigned to take go back into the television business. And so, and my event planner and office manager, where is she? Right over here. You wouldn't know this, but she's pregnant and she's going to have a baby on Thursday next week. So, surprise! And I'm going to try to hold down the fort for 3 weeks. So, anyway, I just want to say that you're not going to see Michelle for a while. You won't hear her voice on the phone when you call in. You will be receiving probably some emails from her, but we want to wish her the best. And she's going to have a little girl next week, and she's all excited. It's her first child, so you can wish her well when you get ready to leave this morning. And we also have All Wheels Night coming up on the 21st, so mark your calendar for that. We have a kids safety camp on the 26th. We have the Verdigris Valley Art Exhibit on the 28th. And we have movie night on the 29th. And it's being sponsored by Textron again. It's teen night. And they're going to give a little shout out about that as well. But I want to point out that teen means any child going into middle school in the fall and clear up to high school. All of those kids are going to be invited to special teen night, and we will be playing Captain Marvel. So that will be the movie of the night, and then you'll hear from the Textron interns here in just a little bit. And then remember, we're collecting money for the 4th of July, and you're going to hear a little shout out about that. And with that, I'm going to say one thing. It's going to take place at a shout out, but I want to personally welcome them right now. We have, I believe, well over 18, what's my special number, Diane? 15 summer interns here with Textron Aviation. And you're going to hear from them in a minute during a shout out at the end, and you're going to see their faces. But what I want you to know is that this is an amazing opportunity for these young college kids to experience a great opportunity with one of our major manufacturers in our community. And it's also an opportunity for us to extend a lot of Independence hospitality. because we all know that there is a workforce concern. And when we talk about economic development, the way to grow our community is obviously to bring jobs in here. But those people, when they come in to look at our community, they want to know that we have an amazing workforce, that we have a well-qualified, available workforce. And so it kind of goes hand in hand. And Textron wants to grow, and they're growing, but they need great employees. And so what better way to do that than to grow their own with local kids, or to grow their own through internships, bringing these kids into Independence, showing them the facility, but showing them more than that, showing them that the Independence is an amazing community, that it has a lot to offer. You know, there are a lot of other Textron facilities, and they're going to get tempted with those facilities. But what we want you to know is that Independence is the place to live. We embrace young professionals. We have great quality of life. We're just a hop, skip, and a jump from city life. So enjoy your time in Independence. Come by the chamber if you need anything. And on behalf of everybody in this room, and it's being televised, we welcome you to Independence. So we hope you have a good summer. So we're going to start our program, and it's a little bit different today. So we usually have lots of great speakers, and we still do, but we're going to do some presentations this morning of some well-deserved awards and also some recognition. So at this time, I would like to welcome to the front of the podium the Masonic Lodge 107, under the direction, I think their speaker this morning will be Jerry Allison and Police Chief Jerry Harrison. Would you join them right up here? If you'll stand right here. You go right ahead.
Hey, it's on. Pardon me. I'm Jerry Allison, Fortitude Lodge number 107 here in Independence. If you're not familiar with us, we have an 1871 charter, and that's been a long time ago. And Fortitude Lodge, the Masons and the brothers have supported the community all that time, and likewise the community has been good supporters of our cause. And we are philanthropists in every way that we can be, and it's getting harder every year. We look for opportunities to share our belief with some of the things that's happened in our community, and we stumbled onto a good thing this year. We think it's a good thing, and that's why the chief is up here. But I want to introduce first our master, Jeff Shaw.
Good morning. I am this year's master of Fortitude Lodge. Many of you probably don't even know there are Masons here in town. We don't have a PR team. I guess the Shriners would be the PR team. To be a Shriner, you're a Mason first and always. And so I'm sure you're familiar with the Shriners Hospitals, which we support. Probably our biggest program through Kansas Masons is the Cancer Alliance that we've teamed up with KU. And they so much so that they changed the name of it to the Masonic Cancer Alliance, and we're really proud of that. But like Jerry said, we're always looking for something that we can do for our community. And so one of our members sometime back mentioned the K-9 program to us, and it was unanimously agreed upon that we should make a donation. And we're really happy to do this. Jerry came out and gave us a short program a while back, and it was very well received, and we're looking forward to this.
Okay, Jerry, that brings us up to this point. Now, you're all aware that the K-9 project kicked off several months ago, and you've made great strides in getting where you are today. The dog and the officer, Ty Lepartis, have graduated their courses, and we know that there's going to be added expense henceforth. So our brothers decided that to help Jerry and his cause of the canine, which is going to be a great asset to us as community citizens. He's going to be an apprehension dog, as I understand it. He's going to be there to help that officer. Officer is going to help the dog. Dogs do a lot for all humanity. They are man's best friend, but they can also be the man's best enemy, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. We're going to plant a little seed money here, and we're going to challenge every organization, if we can, to look forward to what the everyday expenses are going to be and help Jerry out. Put in your budget, your operating budget for each year, something that will continue to feed and bed, room and board for the dog. Jerry, it is our honor. Move her right over here real quick. To offer you this check for $1,000 to get started on that.
We appreciate it. Thank you guys very much.
So if you guys just please stay right here. We're not done yet. We have another contributor. At this time, I would like to welcome to the podium Brent and Dorothy Littleton, the owners of Dairy Queen, who would like to make a presentation as well.
So while Brett's on his way up here, I'll make it quick. All superheroes have a backstory. So Brent and I have a backstory. He used to manage the Dairy Queen in the town that I came from, while he was also managing this Dairy Queen, and that's about 2 hours away. My girlfriend worked for an auditor, or for a CPA in a town about 3 hours away, and she actually did all his payroll and money work. So Brent and I were connected whenever I got here. And when I first got here, he came up to me and he said, we were talking, and I said, you know, what'd be really great is if we could get a canine program going, and I have no idea how to do it. I have no idea how to get the money. And so Brent said, if I can ever help you with that I'll step up. And so here he is today, following through, a man of his word.
Thank you. Dorothy and I just want to thank everybody in this community for the support they give Dairy Queen. We have a catering business that we enjoy serving the community with as well. And we have focused our goals in advertising to benefit the schools, our local heroes, so to speak. We try to support our newspaper, our radio stations, and all of you see the national television ads that come through our royalty marketing with Dairy Queen, so that's something that is with it as well. Our biggest outside thing that we support is the Children's Miracle Network. Dairy Queen, as a company, comes up with approximately $20 million a year. And we do that by selling those balloons at the restaurant. And that Children's Miracle Network plan is going now. And it's a $1 donation. If they come through and say, would you like to donate to the Children's Miracle Network? It costs you $1. They give you a balloon. You sign it. And there's some coupons on there worth like $3. So it's not like we're not giving back something that you get your $1 back somehow. And I think there's a $3 coupon as well. So I just wanted to mention that to everybody. I just thought about it as I was sitting there going, man, I should have looked up the actual stuff on that. So if y'all look it up and go, that ain't that right, well, don't call me a liar, because I'm going off history, man, and I've slept since then and probably drank a little too much. But nevertheless, we wanted to accept Masonic. I don't have a big paper check to give them, but here's a one in cash today. But we want to accept their challenge, and here's a check for $1,500 from Dairy Queen to support y'all. And we as well challenge everyone in this community to help support this program, because it's a good program. We have an incredible chief of police here, and we need to do everything we can to keep this fellow around. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you. So, Chief Harrison, I need for you to stay right here in the center. I need for the Masons to come over, Dorothy and Brent come over, because we're going to take some group shots. So Kelly Pasteur and Tana are taking pictures, so smile at those two ladies until they give you the green light. That is awesome. Thank you to the Masonic Lodge and to Dairy Queen. All right, and we have one more amazing presentation to do this morning. At this time, I would like to welcome our representative, Jim Kelly, to the podium, along with Officer Hillary Cook. Did I say that right? Okay. And Chief Harrison, right? Anybody else? Yep. Get out there. And Chief Harrison will join you as well. Hillary, if you'll stand right here, please.
Thank you very much. And Hillary, let me hand you this certificate. And for me, it's kind of neat because this is the second year in a row that we've done this. And it's for receiving the 2018 Silver Award for Valor from the Kansas Association of Police Chiefs. And the recognition that she received, and I wasn't surprised, about a year ago, I think, I met Hillary when a nice little older lady ran her car over the curb and hit the side of the Community National Bank building. She was coming in to get money so she could fix her brakes. And so Hillary was the officer that responded. And Hillary, I think, was fairly new at that time, but she was so nice to this lady. I mean, so nice. And she really made her not feel totally stupid. And she actually followed her, I think, to or guided her to where she was going to go to get the new brakes put in. So anyway, I wasn't surprised at this, but the award read, "In recognition of courageous actions taken during a dangerous house fire and saving the resident from serious injury or possible death. Officer Cook's dedication to her community and fellow citizens is commended." And this certificate is from the House of Representatives, and it says the entire membership extends its congratulations and expresses the hope for continued success. And Hillary, tremendous for you. I know Hillary was up, no sleep, 5 hours in 30 hours because of the two people caught by the weird phase of the moon yesterday where we had all the standoffs, and I understand Hillary was a negotiator, but she probably wants to be a sleeper as soon as we get through here. But Hillary, congratulations, and thank you for the great job.
Just so you guys know, Hillary got up. What time do you get up? 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning?
On a normal day?
For work.
Yeah, about 4.
So Hillary got up at 4 o'clock Wednesday morning. She worked from 6 to 6 Wednesday. She went home, and at about 12:40 in the morning, I got a phone call that we had a suicidal guy armed with a gun, barricaded himself, had already shot off a round at somebody. So I came in and making a terrible assumption that Hillary would be able to go home and go to bed immediately after this situation was resolved. I called her in to help negotiate. 5 hours later, she decided that she was going to go back to work, making the terrible assumption that she was going to go home at the end of the day and go to bed. And we had the same situation turn right around. So we spent 10 hours in negotiations yesterday with people. It was a rough day for your first responders. And Sean got almost no sleep, and David Cowan was there, and Hillary was there, and all of the KBI agents that came down from across the state to help us resolve the situation. There was a lot of law enforcement that probably shouldn't have been driving around the state yesterday. But so that just tells you that some of the sacrifice that these folks make, and I'm really proud to serve with all the officers that we have, just like Hillary. Excellent work.
Good job. Do you guys want to stand there for a picture so that I think make sure we got a good posed shot there? right. It's a great. Are you off to work? Okay, good. Good. Sleep well. Well, it's a great day in Independence. So we have a lot to celebrate, and a lot of great things are happening in our community. Our next speakers are going to talk to you about something that is celebratory that's happening in our community. It happens in our community every 3 years, and you may or may not know that it happens, but after today, you will. So would you please welcome to the podium my friends Charles Barker and Helen Reeves.
Good morning to you.
Morning. He's a pastor. You better say good
morning. Yeah, or I'll lift the offering if you don't. Yeah. Why don't you just turn to somebody next to you that's better looking than you and tell them good morning. Okay, there you go again, acting like you can't find anybody better looking than you. If you can't find anybody better looking, find somebody just looking and tell them good morning. It is a good morning and a great morning to be here at First Friday. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce, and all of you who do great things in Independence on a daily basis. Just listening to the stories that have already gone out, the good stories. Westar keeping our rates down. That's a good thing, isn't it? And certainly the work with the K-9 units and those individuals who have already gone forth. We appreciate it immensely. Helen Reeves and I get an opportunity to talk about something that occurs every 3 years, and that is a Independence homecoming. In 1983, I was a young man then. In 1983, a couple of people had this idea to bring families together and really just have a old-fashioned family reunion. It really morphed into what has now been a celebration for 36 years, Independence Homecoming Celebration. And what takes place is every 3 years, individuals from all over the world, literally, we've had individuals come in from overseas to take part of this Independence Homecoming Celebration. Former residents and current residents get together and just celebrate independence and that connection. What typically occurs is on Friday night, there's kind of a social event and a get-together, and kids have fun, have a carnival-like activities that go on. On Saturday, there's banquets, our dignitarians, the governor, we've reached out to her. It's possible that she may be here. Our Attorney General, who is a local gentleman, obviously, is typically here. Jim and all the constituents, dignitarians, leaders of the state, just a family event. Now, this year's theme is Reunited, and it feels so good. Y'all remember that song, some of you? Yeah, some of you know that song, right? Reunited and it feels so good. And this is kind of a flyer that lists all the events that take place beginning on July the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. Again, what a lot of fun for former residents, current residents of Independence to come back and celebrate Independence. Every 3 years, there's probably 200 or 300 people that come back on average, at least, and just bombard Independence, celebrate our local establishments, and just really, really have a good time. Helen Reeves is a charter member of that. She's the brainchild, perhaps behind it all. And so, let her say a few words. But Independence Homecoming, we'd like for you to be a part of it. Obviously, you will be because you'll have a lot of what looks like to be strange people in your town. But actually, they're people who love independence, come back periodically, and at least every 3 years. Let me just say that this year's banquet speaker, and the banquet takes place on Saturday, will be a gentleman by the name of Sam Ford. And Sam Ford has been a broadcaster in the news realm in Washington, D.C. For a great number of years where he lives. And so we're looking forward to see how much secrets he can kind of unveil about what's going on in D.C. So we're really excited about just having Sam Ford, who grew up in Independence and has great memories of Independence. He's going to be back and share with us, along with a host of other individuals. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it culminates with a picnic out at the 4-H building. We're looking forward to a great, great time. We would hope that all of you would join us. Barry and Barb Burskins will help do the honors of making sure that we're all full at the banquet, so we're always looking forward to not just bringing people in for a celebration, but to make sure that we use local people to help boost the economy, et cetera, et cetera. So a great thing overall. This is Helen Reed.
Good morning. Good morning. Our main reason for the Independence Homecoming was I've lived here all my life. And when people come home in the summer, I get to see everybody. They always ask about different people because everybody doesn't come home at the same time. So that was our reason for, wanting to bring this celebration to Independence so that everybody could, every 3 years could come home at the same time, get to see everybody again, have a good time, reminiscing. So this is how the Independence Homecoming came about. And we have had good response from the city. Everybody has been very, goes along with us, and we get ads from the local business people. And we thank you all for all of your support.
Thank you, Lisa, for allowing us this time.
Yes, you're welcome. And we're going to put Charles has some flyers and some information. We'll get those over to the flyer table, or he'll get those to you if you're interested in learning more about that. And they have a Facebook page. They have a website, so you can get lots of great information. And Helen and Graham actually lived about 4 houses down from me. We used to be neighbors. And so my question for you is my kids' favorite babysitter going to be back in town for homecoming? Awesome. Her daughter was my kid's favorite babysitter, by the way. All right. So our next speaker is obviously no stranger. He is our chief of police. And like I said before, First Friday is co-sponsored by the City of Independence, and we always want to give them an opportunity to be at the podium, to share information about what's going on, whether it be at the fire, EMS, city information from the manager or the police chief. We want to make sure that this is available to them to share information, to be transparent, to be able to talk about concerns or ideas or share things that we want to celebrate. So today he's going to hit it hard and fast. He's got all kinds of great numbers for us. So would you please welcome our Chief of Police, Jerry Harrison.
All right, I got a lot to go over, so don't interrupt me. We'll keep it moving. Stay awake. All right. So 3 years ago, I came here and spoke, and I talked at, what are we doing? Communities want to know, what are you doing about what shouldn't be happening? And so I've been compiling some statistics and working towards being able to tell you what we are doing about what ought not to be happening in your community. So start off with some numbers. Our dispatch handled over 19,000 calls for service in 2018, 11,685 911 calls, and a total of 68,579 telephone calls. 15,280 of those calls were for the police department. So and those aren't, when we talk about call for service, that is someone calls in, they need something, and one of your first responders shows up and steps out of a vehicle. That's a call for service. And I know you're not supposed to give a bunch of numbers when you speak because people don't really care about it, but I don't really care. We're doing it anyway. So, keeping it rolling. Case clearance rates for the 2016, 2017, and 2018, 55%. So 55% of the 55 out of every 100 cases that you picked up the phone and you called the police and said that your grill got stolen, somebody's going through your mail, whatever, 55% of those get solved. Now that's everything from violent crime down to just the minor little property crimes. I just got with the people that run our records management or that provide our records management system, and they put a thing in place now, so I'll be able to show you violent crime versus property crime. So how much violent crime are we solving? How much property crime are we solving? Pew Research says that violent crimes are solved on average by police departments 44 to 50% of the time, and property crime is solved 16 to 20% of the crime. So 55%, I'd like to see that number get higher. Right now, for 2019 year to date, it is 70%. Now that is unheard of. So hopefully we can continue to improve in that area. Crash reduction, 16, 17, and 18, and 19. So we had 162 crashes in 16, 148 crashes in 17, 134 crashes in 18, and we are projected in 2019, if the pace continues, 120 crashes. So we're seeing the numbers fall. So hopefully that also continues. Drug enforcement. 2016 we had 46 cases. 2017 we have 56 cases. 2018 we had 96 cases. Right now we're projected to have 77 cases. But we are just putting our canine officers should go into service on Monday. So hopefully we can see those numbers continue to rise. The crime index, this is the one we're trying to work on. Violent crime, 6.3 out of every 1,000. So for every 1,000 residents, we're going to have 6.3 that are going to be a victim of violent crime in our community. Property crime, out of every 1,000 residents, you're going to have 57 people that are going to be a victim of property crime. You always see violent crime talked about in the news. It's really not that prevalent. Particularly when you look here, you have almost 10 times as much property crime as you do violent crime, but nobody really wants to put it on the news that Bob got his car keyed yesterday. And so you don't ever hear about that. It doesn't sell any media products. I'll be nice to everybody. But, 2017, let's see. 2017 we had, so 2016 you had 6.3 on violent crime. 2017 you had 6.8. Property crime also went up quite a bit, 67.1 out of every 1,000 in 2017. The numbers for 2018 won't come out until August. So you will be hearing about those numbers in August. One thing to consider is you can't just look at the statistics and say, well, you got more property crime reported in 2017, so property crime must be on the rise. There's a flip side to that. Communities that don't trust their police department don't report crime. Communities that trust their police department report crime. So I would posit to you that there are a bazillion and one things that go into any statistic that you look at, so don't let anybody tell you that one thing solved some topic. But I will tell you that I'm confident that our community's trust is probably one of the reasons why you're seeing an increase in the reported crime in our community. Crime mapping, search LexisNexis Community Crime Map. I'll say it again if you want me to. LexisNexis, LEXISNEXIS, Community Crime Map. If you want to take a look at your community and you can see where the crimes are happening. Now, be cautioned, when you look at that map, it's not going to show you exactly where the crime's happening because we don't want to tell you exactly where a victim lives. But what it does show you is in the general vicinity. So it'll be within a block or so of where the crime actually occurred. Canine update. I got an unofficial notice of a very large grant that should be coming soon. I can't tell you about it because it's unofficial. So hopefully I'll be able to make an announcement on that next week. Best Beard Contest, we raised $2,789 in that. We have several organizations that donated over $1,000. We have the Oaks, Newkirk, Denison, Buckles employees, Traffic Control Systems out of Wichita, which is who does the upfitting for our patrol cars, and Community Chest. We have some new donors, Dairy Queen, Mason's Lodge, I've got another new donor in the wings, but I'll hold off on, I'll let them announce that to the community. To date, over 20 local businesses and organizations plus hundreds of individuals have come together to raise nearly $45,000 in the last 2 years for the canine. Unless I coded a bill wrong along the way when we first starting to pay for stuff, there's been zero tax dollars going to that. So I think when you talk about community trust, I don't know that you can come up with a better way to show that your community trusts your police department than that right there. Turnover update. It's been 1 year and 3 months since we've had a police officer resign. It's been 11 months since we've had a dispatcher resign. When I got here in 2016, we studied turnovers. We estimated turnovers to be costing over $77,000 a year. Turnover costs from March of 2018 through March of 2019 were just under $6,000 a year. So that's $71,000 of power put back into the budget. And I think I'm pretty proud of that number, and the people that I work with are just a phenomenal bunch. We have 6,847 Facebook followers yesterday when I checked. So in a town of 9,000-ish, I think that's pretty impressive. For those of you that aren't following us on Facebook, I hope it's the same reason I don't follow us on Facebook, because I don't have Facebook. But if you have Facebook, it's pretty inappropriate and embarrassing for you. Go ahead and stand up. Stand up. So follow us on Facebook. There's going to be a couple of interesting articles come out after I release them to the media. So I'm going to give the media a first kick at them, and then I'll put the articles out on our Facebook page. 2016, use of force. This goes back to community trust again. I like to, community trust is one of the most important things to me. And 2016, we had 3 out of every 1,000 calls for service we had a use of force on. So when you find police department, research finds that when you have a police department that has a high incident of use of force, you have a lower incident of community trust, because the community doesn't perceive the police department as being responsible with the use of force decision. However, 3 out of every 1,000 calls, we used force in 2016. 2017, we used it 2.88 out of every 1,000 calls, and in 2018, we used it 2.35 times out of every 1,000 calls. That may not sound like a big difference, 3 down to 2.35, but I want you to consider this. That's a 21.6% reduction. So many of you are in business or running a business here. If you could find an area to reduce 21.6% of your cost, is that significant to you? That is a tremendous change. So traffic operations, I get a lot of phone calls. Angry people want to know why you guys aren't doing anything about traffic in my neighborhood. Well, we are. But we have a limited number of resources to apply towards that particular problem. We are all over the place in our responsibilities. And when it comes to traffic, it's a good size area that we have to patrol. So we rely on the community to understand that they need to be responsible and follow the traffic law. And that's why there's a radar trailer sitting out in a certain portion of town, because we're demonstrating to our residents in that area that traffic safety is on you. Crime reduction is on you. We can only do so much. If you're going to put all your faith in making this a better place to live in less than 30 people in your community, that's a fool's errand. That's poor judgment on your part. Traffic safety, crime reduction, that is on you. We will do everything we can, but understand that with a finite amount of money, finite amount of time, finite amount of people to throw at problems, it's pretty tough. We can work together, though, and that's where we really make the change. And that's why community trust is so important. And we trust our community to stand with us and not tolerate this stuff. We don't tolerate people that flaunt the traffic law. We don't tolerate the people that flaunt our other laws. And we need our community to stand with us, and we appreciate all the trust that you guys demonstrate in us. So let's talk a little bit about traffic operations. We do grant-funded overtime that's provided by NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and dispersed by the state of Kansas. So we have several operations that come down. I think there's 4 of those every year. There are some state-level operations like 420 on April 20th, some other ones, seatbelt enforcement projects we work on. But IPD, our own traffic enforcement projects that we conducted this year, we did bus stop enforcement, we put an officer on a bus, and we put officers in cars following buses around town and got to entertain ourselves that way. That was a good time. Crosswalk enforcement, enjoyed that as well. So the state law, folks, is that if someone's in a crosswalk, I don't care if it's a 4-lane highway, if they're in the crosswalk, you got to stop. Anybody want to input on that? Good. So there's no reason why that should be a problem. Okay. School zone enforcement, so it's 20 miles an hour. It's pretty easy. I believe it's 7:30 to 4:30 on school days, or 7:30 to 4 on school days in the school zones. So we go out and the officers work that pretty hard, and I try to drive through at least one school zone every day. I usually catch a couple. And I have pulled some people over, so some you might know. And then, of course, we borrowed a radar trailer from Parsons Police Department. So when you get on TV, you're watching TV, and you see all these police departments arguing with each other about, oh, it's my jurisdiction, that's a bunch of nonsense. In my career, you almost never see that. The vast majority of the time, law enforcement agencies want to work together, and they thrive on working together, and we're a pretty tight-knit profession from coast to coast, and we take care of each other when we can. And so Parsons PD has loaned us a radar trailer, and we've got it deployed out, and I'm going to keep it for a couple more weeks, hopefully. And then I'm going to ask for them to let us have it back some more in the fall. So that's something that I hope we can continue to do off and on as time passes. So anyways, but again, I ask for you to just continue to stand with us, continue to support us, continue to trust us, and continue to help us improve the quality of life in Independence.
Thank you. And we appreciate all that you do. We truly do. We want to support you. You're not going anywhere. We're keeping Sean around. We're keeping David Cowan around. And we're very appreciative of our emergency services and our public service people. So we have a little change in the program. You will see that Jacob Guillot could not be with us today. They had some problems out at the lake. We had some power outages, and he was hard at work solving problems. But I had the pleasure of spending the evening in Coffeyville last night at the Montgomery County Action Council's annual meeting. And at that meeting, they gave away lots of very well-deserved awards to some amazing people in our community. And our current city commissioner, local entrepreneur, biggest cheerleader for Independence, was sitting just one table over. And when I got the text from Jacob saying that he wasn't going to be able to be here, and that was at 7:45 last night because of his crisis out at the lake, I knew exactly who I was going to ask to stand in. So at this time, would you please welcome the 2019 Curtis Levine Entrepreneurship Spirit Award winner from last night's Montgomery County Action Council annual meeting, our very own City Commissioner and friend Gary Hogsett.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning. I'm just constantly amazed by the turnout at this. And I should learn never to doubt Lisa. But when I heard her say she was going to do a Friday morning meeting at 7:30, I'm thinking, okay, well, that's going to be a small group. You know, Lisa will be there, and April will be there, and maybe Tabitha, Jerry Bright. So I was thinking maybe a turnout of about 4 people. So I'm constantly impressed by this group that rolls out early on a Friday morning. And I really want to say that we do have, without a doubt, the best chamber director on the planet. Which is nicely complimented because we definitely have the best fire chief on the planet, and police chief on the planet, and housing director on the planet, and parks and zoo director on the planet. No wonder this is an amazing city. We just have phenomenal people. I'm constantly blown away by this group. Some of you probably have not heard, we've started a new Toastmasters group in town. Toastmasters is for people who want to improve their public speaking skills or get over their fear of public speaking. Our wonderful staff at the library has spearheaded that effort. If you have any interest, talk to Jerry. We had a meeting Wednesday at noon, and I see Maura sitting here. Maura was our grammarian. And she gave us the word for the day and said, it's superfluous It's not superfluous, it's superfluous, which who knew? I mean, all my life I've said it wrong, and she really jumped your butt if you said superfluous. So I was going to get up and say, I'm the superfluous speaker today, but then I saw Morris in there, so I'm the superfluous speaker today. So anyway, I am a pinch hitter at the last minute. I wanted to just mention, and I will keep it brief. I know you don't believe that. My wife calls me Chatty Cathy, but I can keep things brief occasionally. Probably won't today, but we do have a couple things going on that we thought were worth mentioning maybe about this weekend. Our Masons just mentioned that their charter was 1871, I believe, and we've got a lot of old things in our city, which is wonderful, but back in high school physics, I'm guessing we probably have some engineers over here. They could explain probably the law of entropy. As I remember, that means all matter is always going from order to disorder, meaning things are always deteriorating, and we have ample evidence of that around town, including this crazy railroad trestle bridge. We've been talking about getting this thing painted for 4 years, but it's scheduled to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have the streets blocked. We have a phenomenal crew. They're going to sandblast the whole thing. Then we're going to have a welder out there to put some brackets on it. And then a sign company is going to be out. We're going to put a great big billboard all the way across. Here's sort of a artist conception what it will look like. But this doesn't show that it's been painted, right? So this is, this is sort of an idea, but it's going to look way, way better than this. Amy Taylor did the design, the artwork, and just very excited to finally get that in. And a lot of people have helped with that. A lot of people stepped up and donated money. Mike O'Malley has just worked his butt off to make it happen, and the O'Malley's donated money. The Woods Community Chest chipped in, I think, like $18,000. Every penny of this is donated. None of it's city money, and just very pleased to see this finally happening, assuming it does happen tomorrow. But we've had several false starts, and we think it's going to happen tomorrow. So, as a proponent of our downtown and as a city commissioner, I hear, why aren't things happening more quickly? And I would maintain they really are. So I'm just going to show you a couple photos. Now, you can see there are Christmas decorations up there. This is Christmas 4.5 years ago, where our downtown was at the time. That building was barricaded. You can see the half the windows were boarded up in Uncle Jack's. That building was barricaded. That building was barricaded. That building was barricaded. Hey, we've made tremendous strides. I think we should all take just incredible pride in what's been going on with our city. And some people have really stepped up in a big way. This young couple, Patrick and Michelle, invested tons of money in this building. It was really in bad shape, and it's magnificent. Now, I could list many, many, many people that have contributed to this effort downtown, but we are really, really making strides. And last night at the Montgomery County Action Council meeting, people would say, man, I don't know what's going on in Independence, but it's really looking good. It's several people from other cities say, we're jealous of Independence. So I think that's great. One thing that I wanted to fill you in on here is, I also forgot to mention the wonderful new hanging plants. I'm guessing that's a Main Street function, isn't it, Tabitha? Gosh, it looks amazing. And Jim Hayward, sitting right here, is down there every morning at the crack of dawn. He's volunteered to water all those every morning, and they just really look great. Yeah, thank you, Jim and Rhonda and Tabitha. I can't believe how much it's dressing up the downtown. So this is a photo I took on February 17th. I take a lot of photos of old buildings. I can't help myself. So this is February 17th. So people are saying nothing's happening at the brewery. Why is nothing happening at the brewery? Get serious. This was just a couple months ago. So February 17th, and 60 days later, it looked like that. So 2 months, it's really, really taken shape, and it's gorgeous. So here's, I always love to do the before and after. So the left half is before, and 60 days later, there's the after. And it looks better than that now, of course, because I'd been out of town for a month. But it's really, really looking good. And about a month ago, we got the first delivery of tanks. There's the photo taken of the tanks inside the truck. And, the rented forklift to get the tanks out of the truck. It's a much bigger deal than I would have guessed to move big old stainless steel tanks from a truck into a building. But there's the first tank. There's the first tank set into place. And so there's 3 tanks lined up. And here's another view. These guys have really, really, really knocked themselves out. They did a magnificent rework of that tin ceiling. I had to do a lot of repair. They worked with a wire brush up there for days and days and days to make that ceiling look amazing. You're going to be proud of this place. And same with the brickwork. They re-exposed all that brick by hand, very, very carefully, so they didn't damage the brick with wire brushes. It's going to be a spectacular place. Even if you're not a beer drinker, you're going to have to go in and see this place and sit and have a root beer or something. I mean, it's really going to be nice. And the final tanks, we've been waiting on a couple more tanks to be delivered, which are being delivered at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then we get those put into place, start piping it up, and they tell me they're going to be brewing beer shortly. So, and when we had Roger Brooks here, he said one of the best things you can do for downtown is a microbrewery. So we feel very blessed that this young couple has come into town and tackled this. And with the help of a lot of investors, several here in the room that chipped in because they needed money to help them make it. And the local investors invested $100,000 to make this happen. So we appreciate that very much. I was also asked by Lisa to give a quick update, and she said, where the hell is the barbecue? I mean, come on. We've been talking about this. We've been talking about this for months now, Hogshead. I mean, what is taking so long? So everything does take longer. That pesky law of entropy. Things, old buildings are always falling down, but I think it's going to be worth the wait. I'm very excited. I'm more excited than ever, and I've been excited the whole time. So this building, to me, it's just a phenomenal opportunity for a great restaurant. This is when we bought it about 9 months ago. It had been a bike shop, successful in a number of years. I don't know the story of why it's no longer a bike shop. I'm sorry that it's not, but I'm thrilled to have the building. But there was a lot of cleanup to do. And the second story and the basement were filled with all the remnants of Calvert's. There was just an amazing... I've had a lot of people complain to me about my dumpster out in front of the building. It's not a dumpster, it's 15 dumpsters. We've emptied 15 dumpsters of stuff out of the building. Ask Dean Hayes if you doubt me, because Dean Hayes has worked his butt off in there. He made the mistake of telling me one day, we were just in conversation, I said, how do you like retirement? He said, I'm getting a little bored. So I said, have I got a deal for you? But we wanted to re-expose the ceiling. You can kind of see up there the original tin ceiling, which is at 16 feet. And we think it's going to be really nice. And then the back half of the building has an amazing arch, a barrel arch that you're going to love it. Trust me on this one. It's going to look beautiful. I can't really even get a good photo of it, but it's going to be great. So we got the building all cleaned out, finally. The last dumpster rolled off about 4 weeks ago. And the front, I love the plans they've come up with. The glass is going away. Because you don't really, what would you display in a restaurant? So the glass is going away, and those raised platforms there will have a railing around them. This is sheltered from the sun, and there's fans overhead, so you can go inside, get your barbecue and a beer or whatever, come out and sit outside if you'd like there and watch the world go by on the sidewalk. I promise it's going to be beautiful. You're going to be proud of this place when we get it all done, whenever that happens. 2023, who knows? This is for the history nuts in the place. We took about 500 foot of steel pipe out of this is just the upstairs steel pipe. I suppose everybody here knows why there's 500 feet of steel pipe in the old building. Based on the age, well, there was no electricity when the building was built. So it was all gas lights. So there's piping going everywhere in the ceiling up there, and there's black spots all over the ceiling and some pretty significant fires where you can see where the gas lights burned holes in the ceiling. So anyway, there's no more gas lines in the building. And I just got back from Dickey's. Dickey's is the largest barbecue chain on the planet. They have about just shy of 600 restaurants. And the newest one, someday, not too soon, but someday will be in Independence. And so they make every owner go, and they call it their barbecue university. We all called it barbecue boot camp. Because, they use you in your stores. You do every job in the store. My specialty was scrubbing toilets and mopping floors. I wasn't much good at any of the cooking stuff. But that's one of the restaurants we worked in. That's part of the group I was with. There were 12 people in the training group. And they have a good system. They've been at it a long time. They want their barbecue to taste the same in every one of their 600 stores. We will never compete with the Burskins barbecue or Brent and Dorothy's barbecue, but it is good. It is very good barbecue. I think you guys will like it. We're hoping to award a contract for construction on Monday. We got our final bid yesterday. So we're really hoping that they'll get started right away, and maybe we'll be open by Newalla. We'd originally thought maybe we could hit the 4th of July. No chance, not a chance in the world we're going to hit that. But we are moving along. This is another one of the Dickies I worked in with a really nice bar, and this is what our bar will look like. We'll have a full bar, and it's nice. It's a really pleasing food, pleasing menu, and I think you'll all be very pleased when we get it here. And I hope you'll come out and support us when we get it open, whether that's 2019, 2020, but we are moving forward, and we're very much looking forward to introducing something new to downtown Independence. And thanks again for coming this morning.
Seriously, I asked him to do this at 9 o'clock last night when the meeting was over, so this is what you get. That is amazing, and we're pretty pumped about it. So how can you not want to work in Independence? We're going to have a microbrewery, a Dickies. We got some good shopping downtown, so. All right, we're ready to do our last presentation. You've heard us do this before. We do Invest in Independence. It's a Pride community program where we recognize individuals who have invested in their property, who help to beautify our community. And this morning, I would like to welcome Doug and Bridget Harpster to the podium with their family. We're going to put up the before picture. This is at 609 East Maple. And now you will see the after. It is amazing. We put that address on your program so that you can leave here today, drive by their home, and it is actually a rental property that they have. They tell me that they have 15 pieces of rental property in our community, and they have owned this one for around 7 years, made this significant investment in their property. And the reason why we want to give them this recognition, and we're going to give them a certificate, we're going to put a sign in their yard, is, many times we recognize people who are living in their homes, and we all invest in our homes and things, but to go that step further and buy property that you're going to let other people live in and invest in those properties is significant. We have a lot of people who come into the office, and one of the most popular pieces of material they ask us for is the rental list. They need a place to live, and we just feel so proud and secure in handing that out when we know that there are places like 609 East Maple in our community where new people and community members can make their homes. So at this time, I'm going to come around there. Anybody that is with the Pride program, please come forward, and we're going to make the presentation. That piece of property will realize that there has been a significant investment made in that home. So without covering up their cute little boys, I'm going to pass this over there to you. And you boys want to slide over? Yes. Congratulations. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. You guys, yeah, there you go. Let's do it. Yeah, hold that sign up there. We're going to take a picture. You ready? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, hang tight. We got about a little bit of shout outs that we need to do. I've already given them the lineup, so I'm going to have Diane Rowe please come up from Textron, followed by Jim Kelly, Joanne Smith, Chris Mitchell, Michael Yasusi, Mike Flood. Please get in line, and if you'll all just get in line right behind Diane right here, we'll go one right after another. If anyone else has a shout out, you got to get to the back of the line. Hit it, Diane.
Thanks for letting us go first. Thanks, everyone, for allowing us to come on First Friday. Some feedback that we got from our interns from last summer is you should have told us what was going on all summer long till August. So we fixed that this time. So going forward, we will have our interns come to First Friday in June. So I told them this morning, if you get bored while you're here, it's your own fault, because there's lots to do in this community. And what a great First Friday to come to with your support in sharing what our community was all about. I told you it was a really safe place to live. And so thank you, Jerry. And it's a fun place to work, to live and work as well. We started out with an event yesterday at the Park and Zoo. So you got to play miniature golf. You got to ride the train. So we took care of that yesterday. So if you see our interns out and about, which you will see them on June 29th at Teen Night. So if you're downtown, make sure that you do your part in welcoming them to our community, because they come from all over the United States. This year in particular, we have a first ever Civil Air Patrol internship. The Civil Air Patrol is our largest single engine piston aircraft customer at Textron Aviation, and this is a first ever internship for them. We have 4 that are at our facility this year, but today we have 3 of the 4 here. So I would like to introduce those. So if you would stand up when I introduce you. We have Sean Flynn. His hometown is Newburgh, New York, and he goes to Sunny Dutchess, which is in Dutchess County, New York. So Sean, you already gave the shout out. The other Civil Air Patrol intern is Austin Jones. He's from Lufkin, Texas. And he goes to LeTourneau University. And last but not least, Thea Kirkpatrick. She's from the LA, California area, and she goes to the University of Wisconsin in Madison. So, again, we attract talent from all over the United States. And we spend all summer telling them this is where they need to live and this is where they need to work. So any help you can do to help us get them here, we would appreciate it. Next, I would like to introduce Nikki Christian. She's from the Dallas, Texas area, and she attends the University of North Texas. Tatiana Craven is also from the Dallas, Texas area. She's my intern this year, so thank you very much. But she goes to the University of... She's graduated. That's right. She graduated last month. So, but she attended the University of Oklahoma. We also have Lauren Evans, and she's from Newcastle, Oklahoma, and she's a student at the University of Oklahoma. Brian Caskey is from the Chicago area, and he attends Iowa State. And then last but not least is Beecher Owens, and he's from Sand Springs, Oklahoma, and he attends Oklahoma State University. I knew we'd get some shout-outs. Okay. Thank you all very much. Again, they're going to spend all summer interviewing us while we spend all summer interviewing them. But more importantly, they're trying to find out if this is a community that they would like to work and live. So we appreciate you helping in sharing all about the community, and it helps support what we've been reiterating to these students all along. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Diane, and welcome interns. On behalf of the state of Kansas and my other job, we're glad to see all of you from out of state coming into Kansas, and hopefully you'll stay. I'm here today. One of the other things that I do is this is my 29th year to raise funds for fireworks in Independence, for the fireworks show. This is a slow start year. Right now, the show is set to cost $15,650. We're 39% there, so a long way to go in 28 days, which means $341 a day needs to come in, and that's not happening. So just wanted to let you know the show is July the 4th, 9:30 in Riverside Park, and backup rain date is July the 5th. Hopefully, we've had enough rain. Hopefully it's over for a while, and we can get that in. But would invite you, if you go to the show and enjoy it, that you help fund the show. I've always said that we figure there's about 8,000 to 10,000 people there, and if everyone that showed up kicked in $5, we'd have a monster show. So again, appreciate it. Any donations can be sent to, they're made payable to the Community Foundation for Independence, which is a nonprofit, so it can be tax deductible, and mailed care of Jim Kelly, Community National Bank, Post Office Box 687 here in Independence, or we have 2 locations downtown, our main bank and our drive-in at Penn and Myrtle, and a donation can be left there and they'll get it to me. So appreciate everyone that's donated, and I hope that we can make $341 a day over the next 28 days, and we'll be set. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, today I am here representing Fab Lab ICC with a couple of great opportunities for women and girls specifically, but men, listen up. It might be something of interest to you as well. So next Friday, June 14th, we have our next Women for Women workshop. Women for Women is a program that is grant funded by the Kauffman Foundation. It's been going now for almost 2 years at the Fab Lab, where we offer education and networking for women. Our objective is to help lower the barriers to entrepreneurship for women. But we have women who aren't necessarily interested in a business or not right away, women who have hobbies, women who just want to meet other women who have ambition and insights to share. So we have a regular workshop every 4 to 6 weeks where we invite women in to learn something that they want to know about. So our next workshop Friday is called Personalities and Tough Conversations. This was a suggestion from one of our participants who said she has learned a lot from doing personality tests and learned a lot about how she interacts with others. And we thought about women in general. Sometimes things are tougher for us when we have a conversation that maybe involves some sort of confrontation. It's tougher for us to promote ourselves as entrepreneurs in particular, to promote our value, our product, our worth, marketing ourselves. How do we apply for a bank loan? How do we have a conversation with a business partner or even a spouse? Tough conversations. So we're going to have an expert panel of local women who are going to share their insights in dealing with tough conversations and how they approach those and overcome the obstacles that we maybe even place on ourselves sometimes. The other opportunity is we've talked about this at this venue before, but we have our next STEM camp, actually the next round, our next year of the STEM program for middle school age girls is beginning this summer. So our 3-week summer camp for girls who will be going into 6th, 7th, and 8th grade begins on July 15th and runs through August 2nd. It's Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. It's an intensive experience. It's a strong, large commitment of time, but it is entirely free to the girls and their families. We have a full day of STEM education, but in a fun way. We're not doing math problems all day. We are doing fun experiments. We are learning to use lots of technology. We are hearing guest speakers. We're taking field trips. We provide breakfast, lunch, transportation. Everything is entirely free to the girls. At the end of camp, they will take home a tablet that is all there, entirely theirs to use in whatever way they like. And then they will also have the opportunity to join with us once a month throughout the academic year for a Saturday workshop. And we have fun topics and events to keep them engaged in STEM education. So we still have about 15 spots left in our camp. We have room for 100 girls total. It's a major undertaking, but it is extremely valuable for the girls. They have a great time, and it's really worth it. So I have a few postcards over on the table, or you can always contact me if you have a daughter, granddaughter, or relative, a friend, someone who might be interested in this program. It's a wonderful opportunity not to be passed up. So thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Chris Mitchell from the Community Access Food Pantry, and we are initiating what we hope to be a fun fundraiser so that we can get more breakfast items for this summer, especially for the children of the families that we serve. And I got surprised here by Vincent and Grant. They're already excited, and they have brought in some boxes of cereal. The idea of how this works is each box of cereal will be valued at $5, and you will designate that to the list of people that you have to choose from that you would like to see get pied. And I'm going to read you that list of people. It's Steve McBride, Sean Wallace, April Nutt, Jason Rutledge, Drew Demo, Jerry Harrison, Gary Morrison, and myself. So, yeah, you will be able to donate to the chamber or to the community access, either one, and just designate to that person that you would like to see get pied. Thank you.
I'm Michael Yususi with Lee's Cooling and Heating and the Optimist Club. And if you don't know Chris Mitchell and HSH Homeless Ministries, he is a selfless person. He only asks for items so he can turn around and improve the lives of others. For many people in Independence, Chris is a good shepherd, a person to talk to when in need, and someone who is enthusiastic about the success of others. Chris's direct impact on me is he makes me want to be a better person and a true optimist. When Chris said Independence's youth would be affected, I knew we needed to step up. So on behalf of the Independence Optimist Club, Lee's Cooling and Heating, G&W Foods, Edward Jones, Greg Webster, Quality Motors, First Oak, Chastain Electric, Fastlane Performance Group, and the Independence Rotary Club and fellow Rotarians. Thank you for all your hard work. That is 15 boxes of cereal and oatmeal. Cases of cereal and oatmeal.
Wow, a lot of things going on here. There's some special things going on for sure. And I'm Mike Flood. I'm with Four Leaf Entertainment, in case anybody wants to know. And producing a show with a lot of help at the Independence Historical Museum called Metal Lark Lounge. That is a metal lark on there, by the way. And this is a singer-songwriter concert dinner at the Independence Historical Museum on June the 15th. Now, you have to buy your tickets by June the 11th because of the catering and everything that's involved. This is a fundraiser for the museum. We have one of the best museums in the area, probably is the best museum in the area, and that's why I'm helping out with this. And that's pretty much this event. But I wanted to tell you also that we're bringing back the Oak Ridge Boys for a Christmas show on November the 30th. So thank you very much.
Hello. This is the last time you'll hear from me about this event. We've been announcing it since the 1st of March. And the reason I'm holding my laptop is because it's new to me and I haven't figured out how to get it off here. So I'm just going to get some information off here. This is my husband, David. He's, for anybody that doesn't know, he is Mr. Trombone. He's a professional trombone, been playing it since 3rd grade. And he is in a group called Tulsa Praise Orchestra. We brought tickets today. If you have not got your ticket for the Sunday, June the 30th concert at 6 p.m., please get it today because they just sent out 600 more tickets in the mail yesterday. They are going fast. And we especially want veterans to come. We would be thrilled if Memorial Hall was filled with veterans because that's what this concert is all about. It's honor veterans and celebrate faith, family, and freedom. David, if you'll hold up the brochure thing, that right there. Okay, just hold it up. Okay, we have these, and we would love for you to take as many as you want. The man who paid for all these is the band manager. He puts the bill for much of the group's expenses out of his own pocket, out of his business. Because the group is nonprofit, not one player in this group gets paid. And they're all professional players. They just do it for the love of the music. They love to play big band. And they love to play patriotic, and they love to honor veterans. Now, one of the things that Bob Archer, the band manager, is going to be really surprised at, because he doesn't know Independence like we do. Independence supports the arts, music, and veterans. And they're having the same concert the day before in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, which is the biggest suburb of Tulsa. And they're doing theirs at 2 p.m. the day before. If you know of anybody in the Tulsa area, tell them to look up ringsingswing.com and get a free ticket to the Broken Arrow concert. It cost them $1,300 for that venue. Christian Chenoweth named on the theater, so now you know what it costs. So we would love for the band to come to town that day and have the expenses paid for, either through the free will offering or we are now taking business sponsorships as well as ads for the program. Over at least half of the tickets are reserved of 2,000 seats. The other thing we are just starting to put together, and you need to hold up that green sheet. Hold it up real high so the camera can get it. We are starting Monday night to have very lightweight 30-minute practices, sing 5 patriotic songs like America the Beautiful, Grand Old Flag, the old standards. And we are putting together a 50 to 100 voice community chorus to be there that day to sing on the stage with the band. And I have the music on my email address. So if you can't make that practice, I can send it to you. If you'll come out here and give me your email address, I can send you a recording of the music that the chorus is going to be singing with the band. So there's lots of opportunities to be involved. Please get your veterans there. We have groups that are veterans groups that are reserving a whole box of tickets so they can sit together. And business sponsorships, the program ads, very inexpensive. We're not being fancy. We just want to thank everybody that has anything to do with this concert because, again, these guys are coming up from Tulsa at their own expense, and we told them we're going to beat Broken Arrow when it comes to attendance. So make sure you come out and get your ticket, get these brochure things, please hand them out, and come and join us for the community chorus. If you carry a tune in a bucket, even if you don't, come and join us and have fun singing patriotic songs, big band style.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barb Bershkins, Park and Zoo Director, and I just want to give you a couple updates about the park. First of all, if you're not aware, the Lions Club that had the concession stand had decided not to renew their contract this year. So we thank them for all the years of service they gave us, and we appreciate that. So we had to take over the concession stand, and thank you to Four Paws for helping fund this concession stand. So we want to tell you that it is open Thursday through Sunday from 11 to 7, so you can come out at lunch and enjoy the park, ride the train, the carousel, play golf, and enjoy lunch out at the park. We have slushies, hot dogs. We've got all kinds of hot dogs, different types, Chicago dogs, and I think you'll enjoy it. So come help support us. We want to be there for you. We want to make the park and zoo an experience, and so we'll have the concession stand from Thursday to Sunday. So if it really goes and we can, we want to maybe open then on Wednesday and kind of increase our hours. So we're really excited about it. We've had some good turnouts, so I just wanted to get it out to you to let you know we are open. And we would love for you to come out and support us. The other new thing, I don't know if you saw it at the commission meeting, but we passed that there will be no fireworks in the park and zoo. So to some of you that might be, I don't know, you might be sad about that, but we're happy about it because now you can come out, you can put your chair or blankets on the oval and watch the fireworks in the evening. So the money that goes out for the fireworks, you can sit there and not have to worry about it. And the other thing is the Mid-Continent Band, they were always bombarded and nobody could go back and see them because it was like a war zone there, at the Oval. So come out, enjoy the fireworks display, sit on the Oval, go watch the Mid-Continent Band, and I think we can have an old-fashioned 4th of July without having to worry about the fireworks. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Barb. All right. There's just absolutely nothing going on in this town that you guys are getting ready to work in. So, again, I appreciate you coming. We set up for over 100. There were very few seats open when we started the program. I know a lot of people have to get back to work. But again, I appreciate our speakers taking the time out of their schedule to come. I appreciate our shout-outs that always come at the end to share a little bit more information with you. I want to congratulate Hillary Cook again and thank the Masonic Lodge and Brent Littleton with Dairy Queen and the police force for all that you're doing and with the K-9 program. We're excited about that. Be sure and check out Homecoming 2019 during the holiday weekend. And if you are interested in supporting our heroes, you can stop by our donation table on your way out. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you for coming.